the Duke of York Square. It's Saturday, so there are a lot of local markets here selling local produce as well as a lot of world cuisines here. So it's quite a busy area on Saturdays. It's right now 10 a.m. so business is just starting at the moment. So this is the Duke of York Square Market.
One please. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, let's have a big cake. Yeah, have you been?
Yeah, okay. I think so.
So all kinds of different types of food here.
And remember, we have to give them
South African food here as well. Jamaican food. Good variety of food here for locals as well as people visiting Chelsea and the surrounding neighborhood. So yeah, we'll be starting our walk from here and we will walk through Chelsea Royal Hospital, the gardens. We're gonna walk near the Thames River, near Chelsea Embankment, and then all the way back to King's Road, and we will be back here at Duke of York Square, Sloane Square in around 1 hour, 1.5 hour walk. So let us begin our journey. So we're now leaving Duke of York Square onto King's Road. Now, during the 1960s, King's Road became the playground of swinging London, which means that this place is where the most fashionable shopping area outside of West End. So a lot of rich people come here, do their shopping, and go back to their homes afterwards. So we're now going off King's Road into the Walpole Street. So this is the entrance to the Chelsea Royal Hospital, and the inmates are called Chelsea pensioners. So now this is sort of So this is the entrance to the Royal Hospital Chelsea, home of the Chelsea pensioners. It's quite a beautiful garden here. And we will turn right and walk into Royal Avenue to go deeper into the Chelsea neighbourhood. Unfortunately, this area is a private members ground, so can't really access this place. But the white houses over here looks very nice. Chelsea Royal Hospital. Of course, back then in the book, you're allowed to go through this place, but apparently now you cannot. Something must have changed. Shit. It's not shit. Here's another entrance of the Royal Hospital Chelsea. So here we are. We walked the whole length of Chelsea Bridge Road, and now we're at the side of the River Thames. Do you see those chimneys? This is the Battersea Power Station. Now it's converted into a leisure centre with shopping malls, and there are rich housing estates next to it. Battersea Power Station area used to be quite a poor area, and now has become quite a new and posh place to go in London. And on the opposite side you can see Battersea Park, and if you zoom in, if you see on the far side, there's actually a pagoda. Now this Buddhist Peace Pagoda was built in 19 1885 by Nipponzan Myohoji Buddhists on the Riverside. So now we will continue our walk on this side of the Thames River, the northern side of the Thames River, and we will do a nice circle around Chelsea Borough. Just a better view of the Chelsea Hospital here. And this is the Chelsea Quay. And right here we can see quite a beautiful view of the Thames. And we can see the boat passing past us is the Uber boat. And on this side we get a closer look of the pagoda that I just mentioned, built by the Buddhists. And there we can see on the far side another bridge called the Albert Bridge. So let's continue walking along the riverside. Oh my lord. So we're gonna turn right on this street called Tite Street. See here, Tite Street. And this is a special street because a lot of the famous writers and painters, for example Oscar Wilde, painters like James McNeill Whistler, they all lived or worked around here in the past. So it's quite a historic area. We are going to turn left here on Dyke Street. And here we have the London Sketch Club, artist club found in 1898 by Punch cartoonist Phil May. Turning right here, we are at Swan Walk. Some very nice looking buildings over here, and more peace and quiet compared to the Riverside walk we just walked just now, because we have less cars. And of course, this is another one of the West London's posh and rich area. architecture hasn't changed much over the years. We have here the Chelsea Physics Garden here, which is of course started over 300 years ago and still active in botanical research. And one interesting fact is some of the cotton seeds planted in America was exported here in 1733, and it's still there. So apparently generations of cotton seeds from the 1730s are still being held in this particular garden. We are here at Cheyne Walk. A lot of very famous people apparently lived here, including number 4, which was the last home of the novelist George Eliot. We have Lloyd George here, who was the World War I Prime Minister, lived at number 10. We have Vaughan Swinburne and George Meredith, so a poet and writer. They all lived on this particular street before.
There's only a handful of people left.
Albert Bridge here, and we turn right here. It's a nice dolphin sculpture. We are turning right here. Beautiful little pub here, and we're walking towards Carlyle's house. Now, Carlyle House is the house of Thomas Carlyle, one of the most influential intellectual figures of the 19th century. I'll explain more of Carlyle. Now it is a National Trust Museum. Now, he was a very famous historian and social critic, Mr. Thomas Carlyle. Here we go, entrance of the Carlyle house. Of course, it only opens on Wednesday, March to October. So, unfortunately, it is closed today. Here's the St. Thomas and More Catholic Church. And we are turning left towards Upper Chain Road. Now this area has a very famous Chelsea porcelain work, which produced porcelain here for almost 40 years, until the factory was moved to Derby. So let's have a look at that porcelain workhouse. Here we go. The famous London blue plaques here. And the porcelain house should be right in front. Here's Another one of the blue plaques for Miss Mario Allen. Lived here. Ooh. We are walking through this little sidewalk and we are entering where the Chelsea residence area. Now there will be a very famous church on the left once we pass this alley. Now right in front of us is the Chelsea Old Church, which was rebuilt after being bombed during the World War II. Now there's an interesting story here. Henry VIII married Jane Seymour here in 1536. And unfortunately for Jane Seymour, she was one of Henry VIII's many wives. It's a very interesting building. Lots of greenery and shrubs. Old Church Street with the rebuilt Chelsea Old Church. And then we are walking back to the Riverside again, where we see another one of the great bridges that span across the River Thames. Of course, as with London, there's a lot of construction work going on, and this bit here has always been under construction. I've lived around this area for 2 to 3 years, and they always seem to be just fixing this Riverside Road for quite a long time. Okay, now we are turning right towards Milman Street. Now at the end of this street, Milman Street, we will see a very famous Moravian burial ground, which was part of the grounds at Lindsay House. So, let's take a look at what the Moravian burial ground is. Here we go, Moravian Place. Supposedly there's a burial ground here, but I can't find it. And unfortunately, weather's turning bad. It's raining a bit, but it's typical London. We're used to this kind of cloudy, rainy, sort of depressing weather down here in London. And here we go, we're at the entrance of the Moravian Church, and I believe the Moravian burial ground is just around here. I actually never entered this place before. Looks quite nice, beautiful place. Here are some plaques. Now, according to my historic knowledge, Moravia is a region in the Czech Republic, and so this place might be linked with that certain area. And now we are walking on King's Road again, where we started, Duke of York Square. But now we're approximately 2 to 3 kilometers west of where we started. So we're just gonna walk on King's Road until we're back at Duke of York Square and Sloane Square. Here we see a very interesting pub. It's called the Cadogan. The Cadogan. Cadogan Arms. Now then, unfortunately, my camera DJI ran out of battery, so I'll be filming on my phone now. We're walking through Chelsea Farmer Market now. Let's have a look. We went through Duke of York and now going through Chelsea Farmer Market. Some nice trendy cafes here. Organic market. Very interesting. Now we're back outside. We're going to take a detour here. A nice little detour. Because we are going to visit Chelsea Old Town Hall, which should be on the right hand side. Now we're heading toward St. Luke's Church. Yes, St. Luke's Church. Apparently Charles Dickens was married here in 1836. I'm sure everyone knows who Charles Dickens was. Famous author. Wrote the Tales of Two Cities, Christmas Carol. And this church, well, can fit over 2,500 people. It was built in 1824 and one of the earliest Gothic revival buildings of the 19th century. Very impressive. Now we're going to cut across the garden and turn right out to the garden and going into St. Luke's Street. are some council estates in Chelsea, and you can see even the council housing is very nicely built because this is a very posh area. This is called the Sutton Dwellings or the Sutton Estate. Now we're just gonna have a small change of plan here. We are not going back to Duke of York Square, but actually going straight up north towards South Kensington Tube Station, because it's not much point going back to King's Road. See, we've seen what we've done already, right? So just gonna go from one tube station to the other, starting from Sloane Square, ending at South Kensington. So here we are at the end of our walk, South Kensington Tube Station. Thanks for joining me this walk. This is first of my walks. There will be more walking tours coming up every Friday, so please, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe, and I'll bring you to more walks in London. Thanks for watching.